There was never a closing episode of The Jeffersons.
Never was, and that's what I'm upset about until today. And I have said that publicly several times.
Imagine a single TV moment so shocking it brought an 11-season hit show to its knees. What could have been so controversial to silence the Jeffersons forever? Let's uncover the truth behind this scene and its effects on TV history.
But I think that they called us in April, like in the middle of hiatus, and to say that we were canceled. I didn't realize it. My cousin in New York is the one that called me and said, I understand that Jeffersons has been canceled. I said, who said so? I hadn't heard, but she said it's in the tabloids.
For over a decade, The Jeffersons stood as one of the most groundbreaking sitcoms in American history. It wasn't just a spinoff from All in the Family, it was a cultural force, paving the way for Black representation on primetime TV. With George and Louise Jefferson at its heart, the show tackled issues of race, class, and ambition through sharp humor and unforgettable characters. But in the late 1980s, after 11 seasons and 253 episodes, the unthinkable happened. The show abruptly ended. No grand farewell, no series finale. Fans were left stunned, and speculation about its sudden cancellation swirled. At the center of the mystery, a controversial moment that allegedly crossed an unspoken line for television at the time. What could have been so daring, so disruptive, that it marked the end of a TV institution? Let's dig into the details of this moment and how this iconic show broke barriers and made hit. The Jeffersons kicked off as a spin-off of All in the Family, a show famous for its sharp humor about social issues. Norman Lear, the genius behind both shows, thought it was time to give George and Louise Jefferson their own spotlight. They were neighbors of the Bunkers, but their story had way more to offer. Lear got the idea for a sitcom featuring a successful Black family after chatting with folks from the Black Panther Party, who pointed out the need for better representations of Black people in the media. Instead of sticking to stereotypes, he wanted to flip the script and show a narrative that celebrated success while keeping it real about social issues. When The Jeffersons premiered in 1975, people were instantly hooked on the loud and proud George Jefferson and his sweet, caring wife, Louise. The show followed the Jeffersons as they moved on up from Queens to Manhattan, showcasing their journey to wealth and success. With clever writing, the series tackled race, class, and family dynamics with a lot of humor and heart. It didn't take long for The Jeffersons to become a hit. The show was groundbreaking for featuring a wealthy Black family on primetime TV, which was pretty rare back then. But it didn't shy away from tough topics, often using comedy to tackle prejudice, privilege, and societal norms. The Jeffersons weren't just characters, they were trailblazers, showing that TV could be both fun and meaningful.
That's your third drink.
I know that.
Well, put it down.
Mama, will you leave me alone, please?
I said put it down. You've had enough.
Look, Mama, I'm a big boy now. I don't need you to blow my nose for me. Now, will you leave me alone?
George.
Hey there, Jefferson. That ain't very nice, talking that way to your little mammy here.
A big part of The Jeffersons' charm came from its lively cast. Sherman Hemsley nailed the role of George Jefferson with his incredible charisma. George was loud, opinionated, and ambitious, but deep down, he was a family man who worked hard for his success. Isabel Sanford's portrayal of Louise, or Wheezy, was the perfect balance to George's intensity. Louise was patient, kind, and wise, bringing humor and insight as she navigated life with her fiery husband. Their chemistry was real, capturing the ups and downs of marriage. The supporting characters added even more flavor to the show. Marla Gibbs, as the quick-witted housekeeper Florence, became a fan favorite with her hilarious exchanges with George. The Willises, Tom and Helen, were TV's first interracial couple, breaking new ground and sparking important conversations about race. And then there was Harry Bentley, the quirky British neighbor who brought a lighter vibe to the series. Behind the scenes, the cast faced their own challenges. Isabel Sanford was initially unsure if a show about a wealthy Black family would resonate with audiences. Sherman Hemsley, who Lear specifically wanted for George, brought his own comedic flair to the character, helping shape the show's unique voice. But then there was that one scene that shook things up in a big way. What happened and why did it hit so hard? In its later seasons, the Jeffersons kept pushing boundaries. One episode went further than anyone expected. It tackled a sensitive topic with a bluntness that was pretty rare for 1980s TV. The episode featured a heated confrontation that laid bare some harsh truths about racism and systemic inequality. The reaction was quick. Some people praised the show for its bravery in addressing tough issues, while others were outraged, saying the scene was too much for family viewing. CBS was flooded with complaints and advertisers started to pull back. Behind the scenes, network executives got nervous, wondering if the show had crossed a line.
Joy, why do we have to fight so much? If we have a problem, why can't we just talk it through like Tom and Helen? They don't fight.
They don't fight because they're scared to fight.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know damn well what it means. If you two ever really started going at one another, inside of 5 minutes, he'd be calling you...
Don't say it.
Nigga.
He said
After the drama from that controversial scene, things started to get a little rocky behind the scenes, and it wasn't just about the script. While The Jeffersons was a game changer on screen, life off camera was a bit of a mess. Sherman Hemsley, who nailed the role of George Jefferson, had some strong feelings about the material. He often butted heads with producers over the use of offensive language in the scripts. Hemsley believed you could still be funny without crossing certain lines, especially when it came to stereotypes. His pushback sometimes caused tension, but it also showed how much he cared about keeping the show's message respectful. The drama didn't stop with the scripts. The relationships between the cast and producers were sometimes pretty strained. Isabel Sanford, who played Louise Jefferson, wasn't shy about sharing her frustrations, especially about how the show didn't get the respect it deserved compared to other shows on the network. Even though The Jeffersons was a hit, it often felt overlooked, leaving some cast members feeling undervalued. Norman Lear, the genius behind the show, had his own controversies. Some critics claimed he was more interested in cashing in on the show's cultural impact than genuinely representing the issues it tackled. While he was praised for pushing boundaries, these accusations put a bit of a damper on his legacy, making some people question his true intentions. For a show that broke so many barriers, its sudden cancellation felt like a slap in the face, especially for the cast who were totally blindsided. Everyone was shocked, including Sherman Hemsley, who found out through the news instead of the network. Isabel Sanford was furious, calling the decision disrespectful, especially considering the show's cultural importance. The cancellation led to a lot of speculation about what really went down. CBS officially said it was due to declining ratings, but many thought there was more to it. Some believed the show's willingness to tackle tough topics scared off advertisers, while others thought the network was trying to attract a younger crowd. Whatever the case, the abrupt ending left a sour taste for both the cast and fans. To make matters worse, there was no proper goodbye for The Jeffersons. Unlike other long-running shows that got a big finale, The Jeffersons ended without any closure, leaving storylines hanging and its legacy a bit tarnished. Even after its sudden end, The Jeffersons is still a cultural touchstone, proving it's still relevant decades later. Despite how it wrapped up, The Jeffersons made a lasting impact on TV history. It opened the door for more inclusive and diverse storytelling, showing that audiences were ready for real representation. By showcasing a successful Black family living their truth, the show broke stereotypes and inspired generations. You can see its influence in shows like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Blackish, which kept the tradition of mixing humor with social commentary alive. The Jeffersons normalized the portrayal of Black excellence on screen, setting a standard for future creators. Tributes and revivals have kept the show's legacy going strong. In 2019, ABC aired a live recreation of an episode as part of Norman Lear's Live in Front of a Studio Audience special. With modern stars stepping into those iconic roles, it reminded everyone of the show's groundbreaking contributions and its lasting relevance. The Jeffersons didn't just entertain, it made history. Decades later, it's still a key part of conversations about representation, progress, and the power of storytelling.
Well, I guess that leaves you and me.
Yeah, it's been a bad night all around, ain't it?
Well, don't just stand there, shorty. Get down.
And before we wrap up, here are a few surprising facts about the show that you might not know. One of the cutest things about the Jeffersons was George's sweet nickname for his wife Louise, but guess what? It actually came from real life. Sherman Hemsley said he got the idea from a childhood friend who had asthma. Even though Louise wasn't asthmatic, the name stuck and showed off George's softer side beneath his tough guy act. Then there's Roxy Roker, who played Helen Willis, the first half of TV's first interracial couple. She had a real-life connection to her role too. Roker was in an interracial marriage with TV producer Cy Kravitz, so she was living proof of breaking societal norms. Oh, and fun fact, she's the mom of musician Lenny Kravitz, which adds another cool layer to her groundbreaking role. And let's not forget Marla Gibbs, who played the quick-witted Florence Johnston. Her story is just as inspiring. When she first joined the cast, she was still working as a reservations agent at United Airlines. She juggled her day job and acting until the Jeffersons really took off. It just shows how humble and determined she was, sticking with her airline job even after becoming a fan favorite. From breaking barriers to its sudden end, The Jeffersons was definitely ahead of its time. But maybe that boldness was both its strength and its downfall. This show wasn't just a sitcom, it was a cultural movement. It tackled societal norms with humor and grace, diving into the complexities of race, class, and family in a way that was both relatable and revolutionary. By showing a successful Black family living their best lives, it inspired hope and represented progress when such portrayals were pretty rare. Its unexpected cancellation was a bummer, but its legacy is still going strong. The show paved the way for future TV series to have tough conversations with courage and authenticity. It's a true testament to the power of storytelling that pushes boundaries while keeping it real. What do you guys think? Was The Jeffersons canceled because it was too bold? Or was it something else entirely? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more TV history.